All right, so I'm here at the warehouse with Phil. And what time is it, Phil?
It
Roughly?
is currently
We've been here for a long
3 in the
time.
morning.
3 in the morning. We ate at Koizi and came back and started this process of, I'll explain in a second, but I'd say we started at maybe 10-ish, 9:30 or so. I guess it was a lot
Well,
of...
it's like an all day event, but yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It started at my place, picking out the PS1. So here's the deal. Phil's going for a full set PS1 collection, and you were dabbling with... Were you ever considering going for full set PS2?
Nah, just
You
games
want,
that I like.
and that's probably why it was mostly quality. Like,
Yeah.
I was looking at Phil's list of PS2, and I picked out my favorites. But what's left behind is all... If they're cheap titles, they're called Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. They're just quality games or other rare type games. So Phil still has some heavy PS2 left to trade away. But I said absolutely, I'll trade towards PS2 stuff. I've been kind of hoarding PS1 for a long time, and now Phil's going for full set PS1, which is very ambitious. Going for all jewel cases when possible. So that's going to make some of those really rare jewel cases a real challenge and very satisfying to check off the list. I think you got a couple today that were jewel variants, but not many. They're hard to find. And you're going for long boxes, but you not a big fan of long boxes, but you kind of got to have them eventually. So if they're nice, so
Just whatever's not available as a jewel case variant.
yes,
basically.
true. So games like we're working on. I got a buff Crazy Ivan Viewpoint. I've got an XCOM at home to get to Phil, clean it up. But I just want to show titles. This is kind of the part of documenting cool deals, very unique deals. Just so much volume here. What was the net value? We were pretty close, coincidentally.
My stuff.
Yeah, Phil stuff.
Well, before we worked out everything, 39 was like the actual
Kind of retail.
the retail value.
Yep.
And yours was probably about, I would say 34, probably, before we both came down a little bit.
32 or so, let's
32,
say. Yeah, because I called I kicked a bunch of cheap ones his way for nothing, just as kind of a...
There's a little more to
So
the
you go
trade, but
from-
we'll worry about that down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah. We got some leftovers to work
Yeah.
out. So, but yeah, this is, call it, almost a $4,000 PlayStation exchange. Very, one side had the PS1, one side of the PS2. So that kind of a deal doesn't happen too often. So I'm going to kind of just go over the titles. I got to be careful with myself because I could say a whole lot about almost all these titles. I just mentioned some of my favorites. Urban Reign, great beat 'em up. I love the light gun shooters. I was able to acquire a lot of non-Namco, non-Time Crisis light gun shooters, like Vampire Knight, Dino
Shout out to
Stalker.
Eric right there.
Derek will have to fight me for him. Endgame. Phil had to tell me Endgame is a light gun shooter. I didn't even know that. I thought it was a first-person shooter. There's Dino Stalker. Lots of RPGs, and I'm not a big RPG collector myself. Just took these because I know they trade really well to some of our local game store owners, guys like Devin with UCF Video Games. So a lot of this stuff I try to take in so that I can trade it back out. Some of it I may list on eBay. So just kind of slow down and just give you a look. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place. Shadow Hearts was real nice. All these are primo condition. That's the other great thing about trading off of Phil. He's got pretty high standards for condition. This is, oh yeah, I can't not mention. This was like the must-have. Very appreciative. Thank you, Phil. Thank you. I think there's 10 times. Thank him 10 times for that. Samurai Western, baby. That's one I've been wanting for a long time. So that felt good. Check off the list. Oh yes, and this is the other. Let's appreciate it. Phil and I both have a lot of appreciation for publishing jobs, the packaging, the physical artwork side of video game collecting. So some of these games are just gorgeous. Well done by companies like Atlas and H Tech. Working designs, of course. Yeah, so 2021, this is almost $4,000. I know it's gross. A couple years ago, that'd be absurd. But a couple years from now, who knows? Clock Tower 3 is way up. That was a surprising high value there. Crimson Tears is way up, kind of surprising. Ape Escapes are both pretty pricey. Pumped and Primed, I'm finding, is so much harder to find than any others. So, a little suggestion there. I think it's one of the cheaper Ape Escape games on PS2. Baroque, happy to get that one. Fugitive Hunter. That was a oddball one I wanted. Killer 7's hard to find on PS2. A little easier to find on GameCube, I think. These Gundam games, too. Those are... I don't think, of all the years we've been doing Trade Day, I don't think I've seen any Gundam PS2 games brought out other than Journey to Jabiru, however you say it.
That's like the cheap one, too.
And that's the cheap one. Like, all the other ones, is you never see them. And if you do, they're not complete. That's the other great thing here. Every single one has a manual, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy. Every single one, nice condition. The Gungraves, and also somewhere there was Bujingai. Bujingai and the Gungraves are all really cool third-person action games developed by Red Entertainment. Those are neat. Jade Cocoon 2. Really happy for that. Grow Lancer, Wild Arms 5 or 4, I mean. That Klonoa 2 is the mintiest a Klonoa 2 could be, other than sealed. That's gorgeous. Wizardry was another one that I was really happy for. I won't do this all on my PS1, Phil. Don't worry. So, I've never seen this one locally. I've only seen that online. There's Ninja Assault, one of the light gun shooters. Of course, I got my 2D shooters, my shmups. Had to go for those too. So that just gives you an idea. Very high demand type stuff. Like, none of this is... There's probably not a whole lot of titles that you'll see that you didn't know existed before. Maybe Fugitive Hunter, maybe Crimson Sea 2 is pretty damn elusive, where, you know, maybe you'd never seen that one before. Like, Farland's Evil Prophecy is one that's cheap online, and
That's a cool one.
I hear it's not that great, but Phil's all about playing games that have a bad reputation and finding merit in them. Did you ever play it?
Yeah, it's not. I think it's pretty cool.
Really? That cover art's incredible. Like, that's... For what you're...
Atomic Front.
Looks awesome. And for what you're paying on eBay, you can get, like, new copies for, like, $15. Used copies for not much more than 10. Look at that. So a cheapie there. That looks very collectible. Maybe go for it. And then another one. Sorry, keep going on, but I did not know this was an RPG. I assumed in Inuyasha it's going to be a fighter, like the PS1 game. But it looks great. Looks gorgeous. Thank you, Phil. And then to give you an idea, Phil, what was your collection at? 365.
Yeah.
You had a game for every day in the year currently. And most of Phil's collection is titles like Xenogears, all the major Final Fantasies, right?
All the working design stuff.
All the working design, lots of Atlas, lots of those kind of mainstream, very popular, high demand type pieces. You're kind of missing.
Valkyrie Profile.
Yes,
Tales of Destiny 1 and
2 also, yeah, 1 also. So knocking out, really kind of being Kudelka, yes. Castlevania Symphony, gorgeous Black Label, and also Chronicles. So really kind of taking the smart approach. That's really how, if you're going for a full set, kind of behooves you to go for those already, like, always been rare and already high demand, high price titles. And if you can knock those out for a decent price, kind of put your money towards that first, and then kind of just slowly grind out the rest of the set. It's the way to go. So I knew when Phil had 365 games already, knowing that those are the kind of games he's already got, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do some damage to that full set list with the kind of weird stuff I have. Oh no, we're upside down from this perspective.
Yeah, that's why I switched it around.
Yeah, that's better. So just a really quick.
Funky Skunk, that's a surprisingly expensive one.
Yeah, this whole stack is some of the nicer stuff here. Topal number 1 was really minty.
Sheep Raider.
Sheep Raider, cool one. Metal Gear Solid kind of game. Hellboy's really hard to find.
You know, Bugs Bunny game was like almost $40.
Yeah, it's a good one. Not too hard to find. Aquanaut's Holiday's become quite hard to find. A lot of people talk about that one. Builder's Block. So a lot of my Jalico collection went to Phil today. He was like Builder's Block and Irritating Stick, a few others. K1 game, just weird Jalico stuff. The Hive. There you go. A very oddball rating. Oh yeah, here's some heavies.
This section's pretty.
So that's where it's like you see some equitability. Am I saying words right? We have had a few beers tonight, so. Am I speaking correctly? You know, where it's like, oh boy. You know? There's some of that going on, so lots of heavies towards heavies. Really, Phil didn't have any of the kind of low-end junk that I dumped on Phil, so I win. I won this. I did my best to give him the hookup on that cheap stuff. All right, let's finish this up. Oh, the other thing, like with Tomb Raider, it's got to be Black Label. No greatest hits. That's the goal here.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, so all Jewel, all Black Label. Very original, Phil.
Sorry. Try to be uniform, man.
You don't want to be a hipster and go for
It looks good when it's
greatest
all
hit
Black
sets?
Label, though.
I agree. I think that's some hipster stuff to try to full set greatest hits.
I'm not going to try hard mode.
These are some real elusive
Dragon
quality
Seeds.
titles. Dragon Seeds too. Oh yeah, might as well show a cool arcade game that a lot of people didn't know was ported to PS1.
That game was awesome.
It looks really fun. Sprite based. I bet it's very fast. I haven't played it to be honest, but man, that looks
I
like
guarantee that's going to be fun.
yeah, that's gonna be a sleeper, like fun game, and very hard to find. So commands a decent price. You'd be surprised. Some of these games look like fivers. That's where like learning PS1 is great because you might go to a game store and find this for $5-10. Turns out it's like a 50-60 or as it should be. It's really rare and cool. Midway sports arcade genre.
Yeah, if you guys got PS1 you're looking to come off of, hit me up. I'm going to be working on complete set, so I'll take any help I can get.
You got any big heavies left on PS2 that you could trade towards some sexy PS1?
Silent Hills.
That's right.
Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 4, and Origins. I got some other stuff too.
Marvel vs. Capcom
Marvel
2.
vs. Capcom 2.
Gorgeous copy.
I got to
of
go back
that.
on what I have left, but there's still quite a bit in there.
There was there was some quality stuff that I put aside. The Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 1 and 2,
There's
Champions
still
Nora.
some heavy hitter PS1 stuff I need.
Oh, like there's Dragon Ball GT. Yeah, there's some more nice ones. Poi Poi,
Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, the Bandai print.
Dragon Tales, that's a really good one.
You know, I had to hook him up on Dragon's Tail.
Yeah, dude. That one's signed by you, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's part of the show. This kind of stuff, like
That game's actually pretty pricey for what it is.
yeah, it's decent little genre there.
Yeah.
But like this is the kind of weird stuff that
Pretty elusive, actually.
yeah. I think that about covers it. Major deal here. That's maybe the biggest.
It's kind of like part one. Part two will be next time we do
Yep.
an event or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to keep documenting this, Phil. If you're cool with that,
it's
Phil's
gonna be-
journey to
it's
full
gonna be
set.
an ongoing saga.
Yeah, maybe I'll come over sometime. We'll do an update as we hit certain landmarks. 500, 600, 700. How many are in the set?
What did I say?
It's over 12. I remember that.
Like 13 something.
Yeah.
Like
Yikes.
NTSC, I think it was like 13 something.
Still got a long ways to go. But a lot of them, man, are probably going to be real cheap, easy ones, you know, that you'll just be
Well, crazy
knocking
part is
out
after this
quick.
trade, I gotta count how many pieces it is, but it's gonna be a nice little dent